So I played through Dragonical, and whew, it was an experience to say the least. Let's start off by saying that at least in the graphical department, the game looks beautiful. The character models look great, and the scenery isn't half bad either. Again, nothing revolutionary here, but I wasn't complaining about it either. Now, Dragonical is an MMORPG, and the game features 4 different classes to pick between, each with its own customization options for the most part, although some do seem to share the same faces. Now, the customization is not very extensive, but I feel as though that's kind of a common thing in anime-inspired games these days, let alone mobile anime MMORPGs. The customization comes from outfits that are usually found within the cash shops. And Dragonical is no different. It has an extensive cash shop. There are tons of outfits, hats, and weapon cosmetic options to choose between to make your chosen character look as dapper and or as silly as possible. I look ready to cause some mayhem in this world. Not that I would actually spend anything in the cash shop, that is. So, alas, I'll just look generic. Anyway, I personally decided to go with the mage class, even though my typical default go-to class is usually an archer. Because, well, if I'm being honest, I felt as though I'm breaking the law somehow. I did, however, grow to regret my decision, as the class gave me literal hell playing through it. But hey, the special effects were awesome to look at though. But before I continue, I would like to say that Dragonical has some small regions that you can explore around. You can jump all over the houses and mountains, even swim in the water to some degree, which was actually quite nice. However, this is made completely redundant as you're auto-pathed around, which again isn't uncommon in mobile games. I feel as though we're all quite familiar with it at this point. However, I feel as though with Dragonical, it is just somehow worse, or at least feels more clunky to some degree, which I don't even know how that's possible, really. You can auto everything in this game except dodging, as your character will simply stand still auto-attacking and auto-dying, as it has no regard for its own life. It's almost as if it wishes to die, secretly to end its own suffering. Now, I'll first state that I am personally glad that I was actually required to play the game. However, it is very clunky and stiff. The dodge only seems to work after repeatedly violating the button and or just moves you in the wrong direction, which is a little frustrating to say the least. I ended up opting for just walking out of the AoE zones, as it was far less problematic for me and much less aggressive to my phone. Now, since we're on the topic of combat, it's relatively basic. It's auto-fought. Even if you wanted to do it yourself, you can't. If you attack the monster, it'll re-enter auto-combat. But my main issue seems to be the damage of the monsters. They are unnecessarily hard-hitting, which can lead to many deaths, which will then give you this message every single time. Or this message that stays on your screen, from what I can tell, permanently. Basically telling you all of the ways you can top up constantly, which is just, ugh. If I exclude all the constant pop-ups on my screen, like I forgot to install Adblock, then Dragonical is similar to games like Aura Kingdom, which isn't surprising as it's released from the developer X Legend. Basically, you collect Poke Waifus and train them till they're big and strong and fight for you, like ultimate abilities. You can challenge other players in arenas, tackle world bosses that seem like normal bosses, however they can only be challenged once a day, party up with players, and just generally continue with the story, which even this can be challenging as the cutscene dialogue moves so fast you'll need to use slow-mo just to read what's on the screen in time. All in all, if you've enjoyed other X Legend MMORPGs, then you might enjoy this. I simply feel as though it could have been better than it was, which is an actual shame.